What's up everyone, it's your girl Shay here and welcome to my channel if you are new, and welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. And similar to a previous video I did where I was talking about the pros and cons of digital manga, I'm talking about the pros and cons of physical manga. So I have my list right here on my phone. I have about 5 pretty much for each, 5 for pro, 5 for con. So definitely hope you guys enjoy this video, and if you do like it, of course give it a thumbs up, and if you like my content, of course subscribe, and link below are all my social media accounts. But I also, we'll do that spiel once again at the end. But anyway, let's get started with the pros and cons of physical manga. And also, I do want to shout out to a few of you guys that did kind of help me add to this list or to make this list, because you guys actually pointed out some stuff that I hadn't really thought about before. So I did add some of those ideas on here, and I tried to make sure I didn't make this list similar to my previous list, but just swapped because it's physical instead of digital. So we're going to start out with the pros on this list, and the first one that I have on this list is it is much easier to share with others. Now this is one of the ideas or one of the comments that you guys actually left that I actually didn't think about, and it's true. A pro for physical manga is that it's so much easier to share with somebody who just take the manga off your shelf or wherever it is and then give it to your friend, coworker, family member, or whoever it is for them to read or try out. When it's a digital copy or a digital manga, it's so much harder to share with somebody. I mean, you can share a link, but you can't exactly give them the entire manga unless they log into your account or something. And a lot of people don't want to do that because a lot of people don't want to share their passwords. But with the physical manga, it's just so much easier. So I definitely agree. This is totally a pro. The next one I have on this list is a pro for physical manga is going to your favorite bookstore or comic book store. And there's nothing like going to a bookstore or comic book store and just walking around and just looking to see what's out that's new, looking to see if something that was sold out before is now back in, and just seeing if there's something that you kind of passed over before but now you're actually pretty interested in getting it. To me, that is a huge pro with physical manga that I just don't get with digital manga. With digital manga, I don't have to search. I just kind of already know what I'm looking for. But with physical manga, because I'm going into a physical store, it's I don't know what I'm gonna find. And to me, there's nothing like going into a bookstore or going into a comic book store. So now, number 3. Third one I have on this list is the smell of a new manga. So I don't know about you guys, but to me, new books and new manga just have a distinct smell. And it's just so reminiscent to me of the bookstore that you went to. It can bring back a lot of memories. Whereas with a digital manga, there's really no scent to it unless you want to smell your iPad or smell your phone, which I don't agree with doing. But yeah, this whole smell thing of a new manga, you just don't get from a digital copy that you can get from a physical one. So yeah, I wholeheartedly had to put that on this list because I agree with it. The fourth one I have on this list is taking shelfies. The amount of shelfies I see on Instagram on Sundays is ridiculous, and I love looking at everyone's shelfies. What they have on their shelf, the Funko Pops they have on their shelf, the lights, the greenery is just so amazing. And to me, you cannot do that, decorate a shelf with digital manga. It is so hard. There's just no way unless someone makes an app where you can digitally show your bookshelf. But that's the only way. And there's of course those apps like Notion that allow you to create kind of a bookshelf in progress and complete, but it's just not the same. I love shelfies. I like taking shelfies with the few manga that I have on my shelf, and there's just nothing like taking out your camera and taking off a couple of your manga and taking a picture and making it just look oh so aesthetically pleasing. So yes, taking shelfies is a pro because you can't really do that with digital manga. So now the last and final pro that I have on this list is you don't get distracted. Now, I said on my previous one talking about digital manga that a con was that you got distracted so much because of course you're on your device. And with physical manga, I myself feel like I don't get distracted. I feel like when I read a physical manga, I just get sucked so much into the story that it's so much harder to break me out of it unless there's something I really need to do, or unless someone interrupts me or I have to go to the restroom or the kitchen or whatever. But yeah, with a physical manga, it just seems like it's so much harder to get me distracted. As far as with my phone is concerned, I feel like I just get so much just sucked into the story and there's no way to break me out of it. That for me is a big pro with physical manga that I just don't get a lot with digital manga unless I'm like super invested in the story. All right, so that's the pros that I have. That I have 5 pros. So now looking onto my cons, which I also have 5 of those as well. And the first one I have is it's not convenient to travel with sometimes. And this is true. I don't know about you guys, but as a kid, before like digital like books and manga became a thing, it was so difficult for me to choose what books and what manga I was going to take with me. I literally had to decide and hopefully not take too many with me. And I feel like that is something that is such an inconvenience when it comes to physical manga. Is because you have to think about, okay, if I'm putting this in my luggage, it's gonna make my luggage too heavy. What if I finish these? I should take more. To me, it's just so inconvenient. And compared to digital manga, where it's just readily there on the go with your device, so much easier. Another con that I have for physical manga is that they can get damaged. And I don't know about you guys, but I have dropped a book in water before and it just was never the same. And I feel like that's a con for physical copies, is that they can easily get damaged. You can tear the pages, they can drop in water. They also, of course, can get lost. I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever moved before, sometimes things just come up missing and you're for sure you packed it, but it just has disappeared. And that's happened to me with a few of my manga. Like I had already collected the entire series of Sailor Moon when they first released it, but they somehow got lost. So now I'm pretty much recollecting it now with the Eternal editions because I don't have the other editions that I had before. So I feel like that's another like con with physical manga, is that they can get damaged and they can get lost. They're very fragile sometimes in some cases. So number 3 is that they can be expensive. And I talked about this before, and that's because there's definitely a big price difference between physical copies of manga and digital copies of manga. That's it, just the bottom line of it. Physical copies are just more expensive. So yeah, there you go. But it kind of also leads into my next point, which is number 4, and that is that you can get carried away when it comes to how many you buy. Now, I feel like when it comes to physical manga, whenever I go into the bookstore, because I don't specifically know what I'm looking for, I'm constantly buying more than I need because I'm like, oh, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one. Oh, I didn't know they had this, and buying this one. Whereas with digital copies, I feel like I kind of like make myself more of a budget because I know like, okay, I'm only buying these 2 and I'm going to buy these on my next paycheck. Whereas I feel like with physical copies, because when I go to the bookstore, it's more of a spur of the moment thing that I start buying anything that I can find that I was looking for before or that I'm interested in getting. So that to me is why it can seem like with physical manga, at least for me, I get a lot more carried away. And the last and final one that I have is one that I've already talked about before, but I feel like it's worth mentioning, is that is physical manga can take up a lot of space. I mean, look at my shelf here. It is completely full, which is why I've switched a lot of my manga buying to digital. But a lot of us have boxes of books, whether it's stashed in our garages or our closets or at other people's houses. Like I know for me, I have books stashed at my parents' houses. And for me, it's like, they just take up so much space, so much room. They can be so hard to get rid of, especially if you're like me and you like to hold on to books because they all hold some sort of like sentimental value. So yeah, they can just take up a lot of space. I feel like with digital copies, like I said, they don't take up a lot of space because they're confined to one device. Yes, they can take up memory on your device, but to me, that's a lot easier. To me, it's a lot easier to get rid of that than it is to get rid of physical manga. But maybe that's just me. But yeah, that's the pros and cons that I have for physical manga. I said I was going to come up with this video. I hope you guys enjoy this one as well. If you're hearing running around and jingling, that is my cat. She has the zoomies right now, so she's just running around my living room. So that is what you hear. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Links below to all my social media accounts, my Instagram, my Twitter, and my TikTok. So feel free to check me out on there. I'll have a new mini review for you guys, hopefully on Monday. So I hope you guys enjoy that. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys. If you guys like this video, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. You guys know the whole drill. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. All right, you guys, like I always tell you guys, stay positive, stay nerdy in today's day and age, stay healthy, and of course, please stay safe. All right, you guys, bye.